Hey Jennifer, thank you for checking in. I have to do the whole freaking thing again. I put the moon placement incorrectly and it screwed up everything. And it's live. Pissed me off. I have to tell you, it's been one hell of an SHIT day. And you're going to see why. Because you know I love to blame the planets. And you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. So actually, let me just play along here. Please bear with me. I'm just going to basically start all over again. Okay, so just hang in, be patient. You got to see this, all right? That one again because I need more time. Jennifer, please hang in, even if you're the only person here tonight. Please hang in with me, okay? I need to check. I need to communicate here. See, Bubba is supervising and he wants to make sure everything's perfect, understandably. So bear with me. Thank you, Bubba. Yep, thank you, Bubba. Hello, Jennifer. Thank you for your patience. This past week or so, I have had so many negative things thrown at me when I was trying to do things correctly. I was trying to go with the flow, and the energy still threw curveballs. Cute kitty, yeah, So, Jennifer, here is one of the most frightening, perfect examples of sacred geometry, of astrology that I've ever seen. Literally ever. I've been doing this for decades. Way before I started doing TarotLumination on YouTube like 6 or 7 years ago. Look at this. Freak sacred geometry. Okay? I'll come back in just a second. I need to make human contact, okay? I just blew out a light bulb on the studio here, so things are a bit weird. Everything fell off, everything collapsed, and I haven't had time to rebuild it because this particular astrological freak show is temporary, of course, as it always is, because it's based on the moon. Those scary red lines that makes such an amazing piece of geometry is based on the transiting moon, and it'll break up fairly soon, and it won't look quite so spectacular. But you got to admit, just look at this. I mean, seriously, look at this thing. Have you ever seen a TarotLumination astrodoodle like that? Ever? No, of course not. So, these red lines represent highly stressful, very illuminating aspects in astrology. These are oppositions, okay? With oppositions you get certain characteristics. Number one is the concept of relationship dynamics. The opposition, think of it in terms of persons, okay? There would be you, and there would be the other. There would be the other who thinks of themselves as you, and then you would be the other, okay? So please just ignore this. There's some interference here from a troll, and there's nothing we can do about it. I don't have the capacity to stop this at the moment, so I'm just going to ignore it. So, anyway, thank you, Bubba. Bubba just certified that everything is okay, and it's going to be okay. And I have to take care of him pretty soon because it's pretty late over here. But, yeah, it's actually very beautiful. And if we wanted to, you know what? Let's, give me a second here. I want to study the angles on Mars and Venus. Mars, Virgo, Venus is in Virgo at 24 degrees. Sun, Mars, and Mercury. Sun, Mars is Mercury. No, it's not quite. So I would be very tempted to put another green line here, and we would have a grand sextile at the same time. But it's not really that. What happens is, like, if let's just say, for example, if Venus was further over here, we could create like a grand sextile. sort of. Anyway, we're not going to do that. The green lines the green stuff's very pretty. It's very harmonious. Look at this big, fat, green trine. It's a water trine between Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. It's very strong, so it's sweet, harmonious, and let's just say it's an energy that we can take for granted. You know, just think of the water signs: compassion, emotions, feeling, intuition, and it's all in one lovely, beautiful, harmonious display, like a splurge of harmony. Okay, and we got to back it up here with a bit of a kite. You know, very nice. We got a sacred envelope there, which is kind of cute. So it kind of looks like sometimes they call it the Star of David, but it's not quite. But the real freak thing is this massive, I mean, in a way, these actually happen with grand sextiles, but this is really fierce, this one. So we've got an opposition here, Uranus opposing Mars, and we've got Venus opposing Neptune, we've got the Moon opposing Pluto, and everything. So it's a lot of opposition. There's a tremendous amount of stress, relationships between you and everything that's not you. And the big one for me, of course, is this axis here. It's a huge axis, and I look at it as the global financial system, and it's under extreme stress right now. I'm going to get to that in a minute. And over here with this axis, we're looking at health and sickness, or sickness and health. And we're seeing all the perversions of sickness, the corruption, betrayal, lies, deception, blackmail, disease, forced imprisonment, all sorts of disgusting, some of the worst aspects of human experience, depravity, perversion. We're seeing it on full display across the world. Wholesale slaughter of people by one group of people on another group of people. And it's just a pile of statistics. It's a bunch of YouTube videos and YouTube shorts and TikTok videos for everyone else. But it's real live slaughter for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. So that's on this axis here. We got this extremely powerful axis, Moon, Pluto, which is directly correlated with the United States. Moon in Cancer for the United States. Anyway, it conjuncts the Cancerian elements of the United States here. Pluto element here, 27.5 degrees. So the United States is heavily aspected in this astrology here. And as you can see, it's hyper, not just highly, but it is hyper stressed. What's happening in the United States right now is like a crushing energy of demolition. A lot of this is happening from the inside. America is deliberately destroying itself from the inside. The enemy is within. We have a massive cancerous stage 4 metastatic tumor, which is in full fierce force right now, doing everything it can to destroy this beautiful thing called America. And that evil thing, the evil thing is just think of it as an organism. Think of cancer as a living organism, and it wants to live. And it wants to live as much as America wants to live. So it's an extremely fierce opposition right now. It's essentially war. A war between health and sickness. A war between plutocrats and maniacal, sociopathic, psychopathic, power-hungry maniacs versus the home and the family of we the people. And at the same time, the financial crisis, essentially, most particularly right now, between the United States and the rest of the world, or between the rest of the world and the United States. And it's happening very, very vividly. I just had some more examples today. Let me connect with you. Hi, Jennifer. Thanks for being here. At least I have somebody to talk to, because I don't normally show up this late. Hardly ever. But anyway, whoever's out there watching, I hope you get something out of this. I just got a report in that three of the big banks in America, Wells Fargo, Chase, and Bank of America, are having enormous problems with cash in, cash out. ATMs not functioning. People can't put their money in. People can't put their money out. Those are the biggest banks in America. We're talking trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars, and they're screwed up. It's something to do with the ACH system, which is the digital money mechanism that moves money in and out of the banks from the different sources to the different sources. So that's very, very scary. It happened to me this evening. I went to multiple different Chase Bank ATMs. There were people lined up here, lined up there. Everyone gave it a shot because no one was talking openly about it. They would just go up and work on the ATM, and the ATM was going, what? People were going, what? What? And then they would just quietly shut down and walk out because they think it's their fault, and they're scared because they can't get their money. They can't put it in, they can't get it out. It happened to me, it happened to everyone else at the bank while I was there. It's happening all over. It's everywhere. It's across the whole country of the United States. If that's not a scary thing, I don't know what is. You should be very, very, very scared. Next, regarding global financial system, China, as you know, is a sort of mirror image, a very sick, pervert mirror image of the United States, in that it does these copycat clones of everything that we do here, because it works. It works very, very well. They don't have to do any research and development. They don't have to adopt any kind of codes of conduct. They just steal what they think is a cool idea, and then they expand on it. And they do that extremely well. They've been incredibly successful. And America has been extremely derelict and negligent to allow it to happen. It's basically like keeping the front door open to the thieves, the criminals, the murderers, the robbers, and just saying, help yourself, help yourself. And it's happening because there's a lot of corruption in America. There's a lot of politicians and a lot of corporate people who are more than happy to accept the blackmail and the bribes and the corruption from the dirty Chinese money. It's happening to all the universities in America, all the big corporations, especially big tech, big media, anything that makes chips and processors like the NVIDIA Corporation. It's happening with the military, especially the military. The whole it's just ludicrous to watch what's happening. And we have an administration in Washington right now, which is I would say the instigator. They are the enabler. The Grandpa Joe and his team of communist radicals who are doing everything to turn America upside down, and they're doing a fantastic job. You've got to give it to them. They are doing an incredible job of destroying this country. And who's stopping them? Oh, a bunch of right-wing conservatives. Like, that's very bad. We shouldn't do that. That's very, very bad. You're very, very bad. You're very, very bad. You need to be impeached. You need to be impeached. And they talk and talk and talk and talk. And so far, not much has happened. Because the criminals are still hard at it. They're just walking through the store, doing whatever they want. It's wholesale robbery and destruction. And in a way, it's all planned out. It's all part of the plan. And I don't know what you can do about it. I'm trying to stay out of the way. I'm trying to find a way. Sort of like when they zig, I zag. When they zag, I zig. And I happen to be, my belief systems and my opinions align with what I would call conservative types, patriot types here in the United States. There are people in America who feel that people like me are like demonically possessed, like I'm sort of like a white power extremist terrorist. I might play you my song tonight, but anyway, I'm joking now. But yeah, it's actually a very serious thing. So, like right now, on the global scale, when you look at the chart, let me go back to the chart. I just want to illustrate it again very briefly. This particular aspect here, the global financial system, I told you months ago that this was going to be an absolute SHIT storm across the world, and that's exactly what's happening. This is extremely hostile, violent energy over here that's being communicated against a very, very unstable, volatile Uranus in Taurus. This is a very warlike aspect, and it's like shooting bullets into it's like these people here are trying to shoot bullets into nuclear bombs. I mean, it's ludicrous. If you think of Uranus energy as very much associated with nuclear power, sort of like Pluto is as well. And they're flirting around with all these potential nuclear weapons, nuclear warfare. It's incredible to witness. Like right now, I mean, China is coming over in the very near future. Xi Jinping himself is apparently coming over here to meet up with Grandpa Joe to try and make it look like this. Like, dear Grandpa Joe, please be nice to us here in China. You know that America can't function without China. You need us as much as we need you, so be nice. Get rid of all the tariff and all the import-export bans on the chips and NVIDIAs and all of that stuff. And please stop all your banks and corporations from leaving our country and taking away all their money and all their investments and all their corporations and manufacturing. You need us, we need you. That's what he's going to be doing. That's part of his meeting. And the other part of the meeting, I think, is going to be a little, maybe more quiet in a back room somewhere. Hey, listen, Grandpa Joe. You know that it's the end for you, okay? You know that, dear Grandpa Joe, your country is falling apart. Thank you, by the way, Grandpa Joe. You've done an incredible job of destroying your own country. And it only cost me about, $20-50 million? That's cheap. You're frickin' cheap, Joe. You're a cheap little corrupt traitor to your own country. And I took advantage of you. That's okay. Because my goal now is to destroy America, take everything that we can out of America. How are we going to do that? By unrestricted warfare. We're going to infect all the networks, the infrastructure, the politics, the universities, the banks, the military, everything. And we're just going to press a nasty button, and it's all going to go. There you go. So, by the way, even though I'm here begging you, Joe, please be nice, I'm also letting you know that if you're not nice to me, I can get a lot more nasty to you. Because he can. Partly it's because he's desperate. Because guess what? His own country, China, 1.4 billion people, it's imploding. It's completely imploding. It's much worse than what's imploding over here in America. Reason why, I believe, is because they exploded up their debt and blew up their economy in a 40-year period that took America 250 years. So the Chinese bubble is going like this, and now it's going like this. The American bubble took 250 years to get very, very, very big, and now it's going. And they're both happening simultaneously. It's very interesting to watch. I should do other videos because I have astrology on China and America. And when you do one of my crucible spreads, It's absolutely terrifying what you see. America, China. China, America. What do I see? I see Chinerica. What I see is a very dirty, ugly, vicious, nasty marriage that's going through a divorce. What I see is a very, very glossy male exterior for China, which would be symbolic and typical of a very powerful, wealthy male with a very beautiful wife. And back home, the wife is basically treated like an idiot. Like, you stupid itch. You just don't, you're too freaking dumb to understand politics and how I am so amazing and how I have to do all these amazing things around the world. You're just a woman, okay? So just, I don't have the time to explain it to you. And in the background, she's starting to go online and go, maybe I should just get divorced from this guy. Because the rest of China is starting to say, maybe we should get divorced from this guy because it sounds like they don't like him much either. Anyway, it's all kind of a big drama over there. And Mr. Ping has his hands full right now because at the same time that his own economy, his own country, his own people is imploding, he's doing everything he can to compensate by expanding himself ever further across the world. Now, how does he do that successfully? He has to do the same scam that he's been doing for the last 10 years, and that's the Belt and Road Initiative, which is the debt trap promise. And how does that work? Okay, hold on, let me see. Jennifer Shaw. I'm a conservative as well. I have pulled back from politics a little. I don't blame you. Using my intuition to get myself and my family through all of this chaos. Very good. It's not easy, but we do the best we can to get through. I try the best I can. Really what I do here is I kind of observe and I navigate as best I can. And I just share my notes as I go along. And I'm just a guy trying to get through, trying to survive and get along. And I have my opinions, I've had my life experience, which allows me to form a belief system and attitudes and perceptions, and they're different from other people. But I'm not going to apologize for being me. Think about the Aries North Node. It's about time that you become you, because I'm making sure I'm doing everything I can to be me. Thank you very much. And I'm not going to apologize. Anyway, there's an awful lot of stuff going on with the America-China thing. So again, about an analogy with the marriage, with the Chinerica thing. They are deeply, deeply entwined economically, and it has all the characteristics of a really abusive, ugly marriage hiding behind the facade of a very, very glossy, spectacular exterior. Like, oh, the wonders of America, all our technology, our amazing, media, our stupendous financial wizardry, our cars, all of our inventions. Massive number of things happened in America over the last 150 years, okay? And a lot of it was willing. It all started back with Bill Clinton. When he signed the NAFTA agreements, a North America Free Trade Agreement, when Bill signed the NAFTA agreement, that was the beginning of the end. That's when Bill sold out the American middle class to Canada and to Mexico to get hold of the cheap labor in Canada, the cheap labor in Mexico, and to screw things up in Michigan for all the automobile makers. And it worked. It worked. It worked for more profits for corporate America, especially the big three autos, at the expense of the American middle class. Thanks, Bill. And then it went on and on and on. And then the Bushes came in, and the explosion of the military-industrial complex and all the fake wars. Trillions of dollars It's great for the military-industrial complex. It sucks for the people who died and got killed, and it sucks for the people who don't benefit from the war. The people who benefit from the war are the warmongers and the banks, the banksters. Remember, at the very, 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 very tippity top of the pyramid is the bank and the banksters, especially the United States Federal Reserve. And what is it? They look so benign. Hello, my name's Jerome Powell, and I think for the time being we're going to have to hold interest rates steady for now. I don't see them going up in exactly the near future. On the other hand, we have to allow that they might have to go up at some point. On the other hand, they could go down. Well, we'll see about that. Meanwhile, we still have to print another, what, $2 or $3 or $4 trillion in the meantime. Hold on, I gotta call the printing press. Let's do that right now. I gotta make a phone call to Janet and Uncle Grandpa Joe. You needed some more money? Okay, yeah, we'll do that. We'll set it all up. Okay, so you print the bonds, you print your treasuries, and I'll print some more paper, and we'll press a few buttons, and we'll inflate the dollar even further. Okay, all right. Shh, don't tell anybody. Shh, okay. Wear a nice suit. Make sure you look pretty on TV and for the meetings and the cameras, everything. And don't say anything too stupid, but don't say anything important. Don't say anything true. Don't say anything fake. Just make stuff that sounds important. It's called Fed speak. So anyway, there's China, there's America. They're doing their thing. It's very, very ugly what's happening, and they are starting to want to divorce. And like in all huge, ugly, monster divorces, China wants to take everything from America, and America wants to pull all its stuff out of China. So that's basically what's happening. Both America and both China are simultaneously imploding. I believe the implosion of China is essentially a side effect of the implosion of the United States, because the primary global implosion on this Taurus-Scorpio axis for the world financial system is pivoting around the United States. So the implosion of China is a side effect, a correlation, a corollary, whatever they call it, to the implosion of the United States. And of course the Chinese don't want that. They want to be rich. It's part of their communist manifesto now. It's sacred to be rich. The most important thing is to be rich. So a lot of people, it's all over the internet now. It's all over mainstream media. World War III, inflation. America is imploding and collapsing. China is expanding. There's very little news that I see, because I track a bunch of things. I'm not a finance person. I'm not a journalist and stuff. I just do my own little homework. And what I see is Mr. Ping working extremely hard, overtime, going all over the world, trying to expand his Belt and Road Initiative while he can. It is a debt trap. The mechanism is very, very simple. Just imagine you're a regular citizen here in America, and you've got a bunch of credit cards, okay, and car loans and mortgages, rents, hard car payments, but basically credit cards. And you're sitting at home, and every other day you get a new envelope in the mail that says, hey Jennifer, we got a special deal for you. Take a look at your credit cards. Have you noticed they're mounting up? We've noticed, Jennifer. So we got this great idea. We're willing to offer you a one-time deal. 0 interest, okay? Shh, don't tell anybody. Just for you, okay? And you're going to be able to consolidate all of your debt and put it all onto our new credit card at, guess what? 0% interest, right? Come on. And so Jennifer, of course, you're like, oh, wow. So I can take all that debt, squash it into one thing, and get rid of all the interest. And just put it all with you. So I send all my hard-earned money that I've been sending everywhere else to pay down. I'll send it all to you. And then Mr. Ping Bank says, that's it. That's really, really simple. So you sign the agreement, and you start sending the money over there, and then they start sending bits of paper to you. And on those bits of paper, you start to see the numbers change in ways that you didn't expect to see. And you start to notice that, wait a minute, I thought the interest rate was 0. And then you look at the tiny microscopic small print at the end of the final page of the contract. You realize it says, we reserve the right to alter the interest rate as necessary to accommodate for unforeseen fluctuations in the world economy. Oh. And so you start to see your repayments having to go up and up and up and up and up and up to the point where you can't repay them. And then Mr. Ping comes along, well, what have you got? A house? A car? What is it? You know, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just gonna have to repo your house. Sorry, Jennifer, I'm gonna have to repo your car. And then I'll just sell that for cash and line my pocket. Sorry, Jennifer. It was great. Thanks. We really tried to help. Sorry. Okay. So that's going on mostly through. Let me do a little map for you. You know I like my maps. Okay. This thing, I hope this doesn't trigger nightmares for you. I hope you don't start getting cold sweats or panic attacks when you see this. Okay? It's not going to be here forever. The moon's going to move over here soon, so it's not going to look so bad. But anyway, right now, this is freaking scary. So, what I was talking about, Mr. Ping in the United States, we're talking about this economy here, this economy here. This economy is imploding, and the correlation over here is the implosion over here. They're happening simultaneously. They've got different ways to try and get out of it, and there really isn't much of an option. And so they're going to just print money to infinity because they don't have any other options, because they're all criminals. They all operate through fraud and fiat money. So the CCP way is to manifest their Belt and Road Initiative, which is all these highways and structures all over here, Eastern Europe, the Ishtans, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Pakistan, Turkmenistan, all the Ishtans over here, okay? And connect it all the way to Hungary and Poland, because the Chinese influence has already reached deep into Western Europe, deep into Canada, North America, Mexico. They're all over here, but they're focusing heavily on this area here because of resources like gold, minerals, mining, lithium, oil, gas, and trying to take control of it through the debt trap diplomacy. And the reason they're effective is because a lot of the people who get snared up into the debt trap diplomacy are very fragile economies, and most of them are also operating as tyrannical dictatorships. So it's like one gang leader dealing with another gang leader. I'm the big boss gang leader. I'm just telling you, you're the little gang leader. You're going to do business with me. It's like good old mafia. Like you're going to do business with me or not. If you don't, you're going to regret it. So you're going to do business with me, whether you like it or not. And so, of course, they oblige. And a lot of the contracts are sealed using bribery, blackmail, corruption, huge amounts of bribery, blackmail, and corruption, and, if necessary, death, to make sure that the contracts are adhered to. So it stretches all the contracts extend all the way through here, all the way up into Hungary and Poland. Even though Hungary and Poland are very, very conservative countries, including Germany, they buckled under. There were some very, very high up leaders, very, very high up in Poland and Hungary. They took the bribes. I can't believe I heard it, but this all happened in the last 10 days. To me, it was heartbreaking, because I was just learning how, they're very much into faith, family, and freedom, their own version of it. They try to conduct themselves as if they had the American Constitution, but they buckled under. Anyway, hello, Maria. So anyway, this thing here, this beast of a chart that's happening right now tonight, is happening live in real time. It's amazing. It's truly, truly amazing. I have to give it to China. They're doing an incredibly good job of what they want to do. A lot of the reason they're doing so well is because Grandpa Joe and his evil administration is keeping their foot in the door, to keep the door open for these folks to come over here and do the dirty work. The biggest criminal of all in America is Grandpa Joe. He took the biggest bribes from Mr. Ping, okay? So it just shows you there's so much evil. And if you study the stuff that I study, you come to a simple, really, really simplistic conclusion that we're not talking about intermediary things here like, we're struggling with oil and gas and gold and lithium and timber and orange juice and, I don't know, wheat, corn, soy. It's way, way beyond that. The battlefront is way beyond that. The battlefront is literally good versus evil. And you'll pick a side. People, human beings, it's very, very difficult because it's so much easier and so tempting to accept the bribery, the corruption, and the betrayal, because it feels very personal, like, wow, they really do want to take care of me. Apparently, Gavin Newsom tonight is considering signing an agreement to put UBI in California, Universal Basic Income. We're basically talking about communism here now. China, California, is basically a communist state now. I had to leave it. I couldn't take it anymore. It's the same with Oregon, the same with Washington. Okay, it's the same with most of the states up here, but it's very mixed up. Some of these states are really screwed up over here. But anyway, it kind of distills down to this battle versus good and evil. And I think I don't know if I've shown you yet. I've already made my astrodoodles for the 5th day of November 2024. You know what date that is, don't you? Right? It's a huge voting event here in the United States. It's going to be spectacularly corrupt. When you look at the charts, it's just complete, utter corruption and mayhem. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I just don't understand it. I don't know what's going to... I mean, the closer we get, maybe we're going to observe. But we have, let's see, exactly 1 year and 1 year and 3 days. So exactly 1 year and 3 days from now, 1 year and 2 days from now, we're going to have that massive voting event. Between now and that time, American politics are going to become absolutely convulsive as the hardcore communist, Marxist, extremist lefties who are doing everything that they can to destroy this country. They're doing everything to destroy. There's a character, DJT, who's doing the best he can to try and protect the original thing of this. You know about this, right? I'm interested in this. I want to reconstitute the Constitution. I want to redeclare the Declaration of Independence and start from scratch again and make it beautiful. It's totally possible. But you have to want it to happen. And the thing is that the people who founded this country, even though it's a very, very turbulent history in this country of America, there is goodness here. And we do have certain privileges. Our biggest privilege is our Constitution and our God-given rights to freedom of speech and our right to defend and protect ourselves from the enemies, both foreign and domestic. They're right here. I'm much more terrified of the enemy within than the enemy without. The enemy without, we can take care of that if we have to. It gets very, very ugly, dirty, and bloody, but we can take care of it if we have to. The real enemy right now is the enemy within, okay? And we are seeing it on full display, okay? It's happening right now. Some people are oblivious. Most people, they're just noticing that gasoline is expensive and that food is getting very expensive. And it's getting very difficult to pay their bills. And they're moaning and groaning, but they don't understand the correlation between, government policies and the price of gasoline and so on and so on. It's a vicious, vicious war going on out there. The big, big, big war is the currency war. That's the Chinese yuan versus the American dollar. It is like this, okay? It's like this right now. It's the biggest war on earth right now. It's not guns and bullets, airplanes, aircraft carriers, and submarines. I mean, it could turn into that. But we'll see. Anyway, I think the purpose for making this chart tonight was to show you a beast of a chart. Now, interesting thing, if it was a perfect grand sextile, let me show you again over here. It's not quite right, so I can't fill it in, but when you have a grand sextile, you also get this six-pointed, it's like a snowflake. Yes, exactly. The grand sextile is an amazing formation because it's just heavily loaded with harmonious energy. All the trines, the sextiles here and here, maybe soon one here. So you get, now this isn't exactly right here, but it's sort of similar. But when you actually look at the charts right now, this thing is just outrageous. This big fat red, I don't even know what to call it. I've never seen it like this before, ever. It's fierce, it's wild, it's scary, it's beautiful. Alright, so anyway, I had a lot more stuff that I wanted to get off my chest because I'm super ultra hyper stressed. But I think I've vented enough. So I'm just going to wrap it up. I'm going to tune it out right now. Okay.